I apologize, I'm recording in the dark right now, and that I'm having to do this by, like, flashlight light, but this needs to be said. J.J. Abrams is going to be directing Star Wars Episode 7, which I'm all for. I love J.J. Abrams. He's a great director. He makes good movies. I've yet to be disappointed by him in any major way. But this brings up an issue. He's helming pretty much anything going on with Star Trek right now, including Star Trek Into Darkness, which I know it's a terrible title, but that's what they went with. I don't know why. And it would seem that any future Star Trek movie would still be his to direct and do whatever he wants to do with it, because that's pretty much his. That's his story now. So, I want Star Wars to be good, and I know Abrams has the talent and the drive to work on multiple movies at once. Whether one's in post-production or he's working on he's driving from one side of Hollywood to the other to shoot completely different movies. I trust that he can do that, but if he can't, I may murder him. And usually when I say that I'm gonna hurt somebody, I mean it in a joking way. If he fucks this up, shit's gonna go down. People are not gonna be happy. I don't know. I'm concerned, but I think he can do it. From the rumors I've heard about the script for Episode 7, probably not going to be that good of a movie anyway. But it's sort of like how the Avengers went when they got Joss Whedon, who is a huge comic book nerd, to direct a comic book movie. Abrams is a Star Wars fan, so I think he can do good with a Star Wars movie. I think. I don't know. But this brings up another problem. Hollywood sucks. They don't let people work on conflicting movies. The reason we haven't gotten a proper Deadpool movie is that Ryan Reynolds did that shitty, I wish it didn't exist Green Lantern movie, and now he's under contract to reprise that role in any future DC movies unless they reboot the character completely. Hopefully they'll probably do that because he's not a superhero kind of actor, and because that I don't want to see origin movies leading up to Justice League. I'm probably not even going to go to the theater to see Man of Steel. From what I've read and from what I've seen in the trailers, it doesn't look that great. It's just another origin movie. But if you don't know the origin of, say, Superman or Batman, that's okay. You don't need to know that. They can explain that through backstory throughout a movie that isn't just an origin movie. As much as I love the Nolan Batman trilogy, Batman Begins didn't really need to happen. The only necessary part of that movie was to introduce Ra's al Ghul, so that the third movie Talia being Talia al Ghul is like a big deal. It's the only important part of Batman Begins. Nothing else in that movie matters, because it's just another origin tale, and we don't need those. Man of Steel does not need to happen, especially when you have Papa Kent telling Clark that he should have let people die. That's not Papa Kent. That's not okay. You're ruining it already, and the movie hasn't even come out yet. Anyway, this could force J.J. Abrams to choose one star or the other, pretty much. Either he's gonna, if Star Trek keeps going in the direction it is, which it probably is, because it's Star Trek, and they still want him to direct it, he's gonna have to choose between Star Wars and Star Trek. And I don't want him to have to do that, because I based on his work in the past, especially the last Star Trek movie, we know he's a good director. We know he has talent. We know he's not going to put out a shit movie and just like take his money and run. He's not that kind of person, from what I understand. Maybe he's a dick. Maybe he's just doing Star Wars for the money. I don't know. But it seems like he actually cares about the product he puts out. Even when he originally talked about being in the run for directing Star Wars, before this was ever announced, before it was like back in August or something, he had an interview where he's like, oh, I'm probably just going to go see it as a consumer, as a viewer. I don't think I'm going to be the one to get to direct it. But even not having the passion he has for Star Wars for Star Trek, he still put in he still put out an amazing product. It was a great Star Trek movie. Even if you include the blowing up of Vulcan, which is kind of dumb, but oh well. Ignore that. Movie's perfect. Even with the lens flares. I thought the lens flares were great. It looked awesome. But, you know, people disagree. Anyway, I keep getting off track here because my mind is racing over what this could be. If he has to pick, I want him to keep going with Star Trek. I think his Star Trek is good. I enjoy it. I want it to keep going the direction it's going. Because I like the fact that because of the plot of the last Star Trek movie, they can do whatever they want. They don't have to go by anything that's been done in the past. They can turn the Enterprise into a car, and it wouldn't matter, because it's like the Nolan Batman trilogy. That's not connected to anything in the past or anything in the future. It's its own thing. That's what Star Trek is being right now, with J.J. Abrams at the helm, and that's a good thing. I like it. I want it to keep going, but obviously this depends on what the final script is for Episode 7. This depends on how well it goes over in the public eye, which it's a Star Wars movie. I'm sure people are going to love it either way. But if Episode 7 is as good as it can be, with J.J. Abrams directing it, I want him to keep going with that as well. I would want him to do 8 and 9. Now, if Disney lets him do it or not, that's up to them. But Disney can suck a dick. Abrams hopefully won't have to choose between Star Trek and Star Wars. Star Wars is now slated for 2015, which gives him plenty of time to finish up everything he's doing with Star Trek Into Darkness. And it gives him time to even plan the next Star Trek movie if he chooses to. But with Disney wanting a new Star Wars movie every other year, so it'd be 2015, 2017, 2019, that's not a lot of time to work on Star Trek as well. So he's gonna have to pick between one or the other, and that kinda sucks. If that's the case. If not, if he's able to pull it off, that would be enjoyable. I think that's all I have to say. Yeah, so J.J. Abrams directing Star Wars, and Star Trek Into Darkness. Go see that when it comes out. I'm sure it's going to be awesome. Obviously, in a couple years, go see Star Wars 2. Not 2, it's 7, but you know what I mean. Go see Star Wars as well, because it's going to be awesome. No matter what the actual storyline or plot or anything is, because it's a Star Wars movie. That's all I have to say. There's a new Star Wars coming out. People are going to go see it. So, now I'm done. So, bye-bye for now.